Hey guys, Thunderset here, bringing you an idea they showed us in one of the top decks in the KC Cup report. I'd also seen it running around in the KC Cup itself, but now we gotta look at it. I tried my version of it, slimmed it down to 20 cards versus what they showed us, and it revolves around Dark Cavalry and Invoked. So Dark Cavalry, super popular right now. His stocks are really going up in this current meta, so people are finding other ways to play him. This is obviously with Invoked. We're still using the Blazeman, King of the Swamp, and Dark Sealed Hex Fusion combos for Dark Cavalry that we've always have, but now those combos can also fuel Purgatrio and Coctius. So on top of that, it's just all the other invoked techs in Sorcery Conduit and Cosmic Cyclone with Concentrating Current for that Coctius, for our big monsters. And then just the fusion cards we need. So it's really that simple, that clean. I think the top KC Cup deck they showed ran a few more cards. I think he worked in some traps, and it was like 23, 24 cards. But this is just the 20 card, very slimline, very smooth version. Works out really well. We also put in a Caliga just because it's pretty easy to summon, and you might as well have one. So this is a lot like the other Neos Dark Cavalry, except instead of Neos we're going Invoked. Instead of Magicalized Fusion we're going Invoked. So it takes the slots of a few other things. I think I prefer the Neos version better. I think the Neos version comes back a little more, and it's a little harder for enemies to get over, because they kind of are pretty ready for Invoked monsters at this point. But other than that, it's still a very strong deck. It was a top deck in the KC Cup, and it would get you an easy King Games. I might King Games this, or just the Neos Dark Cavalry version this season. Probably just the Neos version I like a little more than the Invoked version. But of course the Invoked version is very strong, and especially with Concentrating Current and in Alistair's natural effect to add damage to a fusion monster, this one ends the game a little faster. But it's less about Dark Cavalry, more about Invoked, so that's why I prefer the Neos. I feel the Neos version is getting the Dark Cavalry out faster, but this is still an extremely strong version, extremely strong deck to consider if you guys are still struggling out there. It's a nice rogue deck. I guess you wouldn't really call it rogue with Invoker, but other than that, very strong deck. Hope you guys enjoy the replays, and thanks for watching. Okay, here's an Akiza. We're going first, going for a rank up. This deck can cog you no problem. So this guy's not using a very good deck. He's using some sort of 24 card, I guess it's 24 card because of the skill he used, the Mark of the Dragonfoot. So anyway, it's some sort of blue eyes. We set 2 Cosmic Cyclones because I didn't really want to use our Blazeman. So our opponent pokes at us for 1400, which lets us search our Alistair. Now we're going to Cosmic Cyclone that back row, so now we have another instance of Alistair. We get rid of a counter gate. Search a poly with our Blazeman, use the poly for Purgatrio, 1 Purgatrio. Now we have an invocation, that's 2 Purgatrio, and we still get that Invoker in hand. That's gonna be lethal damage, guys. I don't know if our opponent he does stay. So we hit him 3500 for 2100, then 2300 is gonna be more than enough for a quick OTK, guys. Great stuff. Thanks to Polly. Okay, here we are fighting Yami Bakura, going second. And I'm pretty sure this would have to be Dark Lords. Yep. So fighting more Dark Lords. I fight a surprisingly large amount of Dark Lords. Here he's using Excel. After a banishment, throws away a contact. Whole shebang. Starts with an Aston. Compensation, all that stuff. Excel's out in defense. Searches the Sanctify. Dark Lords. Still compensation. Sets his Sanctify. We're going to start with a normal summon of our Alistair, because we know we're getting Sanctified, so I didn't want Blazeman to get Sanctified. We're gonna Polymerization off the Blazeman anyway, though, for Dark Cavalry. Now we have Invoked for Dark Cavalry, which we're gonna use immediately because we get Sanctified down to 2800 versus 2900, so we can use the Alistair to fuel him, and we can poke him for 1000 damage with this little Alistair we left on the field. So we don't really have a negation, but we don't really need to negate this boy. You can pretty much read like a book exactly what's gonna happen. They just summon some monsters, banishment and a desire. They're gonna desire my big boy and graciously do 1,000 damage to me so I can search another Alistair. So it's, you know, it is very predictable, this duel. Sorcery Conduit and Dark Lords have been around for a while, so anyway, he still does it regardless. We normal summon the Alistair. Now we get a Purgatrio all our own. We get a Banish, an Invoke, or an Alistair from the graveyard, and keep an Alistair on the field again, guys. It's an extra 1,000 damage going by. Opponent doesn't want to see it. Dark Lords have more time than to take 1,000 turns, I guess, so he scoops. Great stuff, guys. Okay, here we are fighting a Crowler. It's weird to run into an Ancient Gear, and this guy was actually pretty high rank. I think he was like Legend 4 or something, going for 5. So he, oh man, I actually hope this wasn't for his cog. I think it was 4 going to 5. I'm gonna check back later, but anyway, it's just a basic Ancient Gear. We have a Cosmic Cyclone, so things should go pretty well for us. But we really gotta figure out a way to end it now, because he searched a Reactor Dragon that's gonna give him a way, 2 ways to get it. So he can normal summon it with the castle, or he can break that Gear Town. So we really want to end this turn. We top deck a very useless Invocation, so that's a really bad start. We King of the Swamp to search a Poly. We have a Concentrating Current though, so that is lethal, as long as we can avoid hitting anything else. And we're going to Cosmic Cyclone that extra damage he's getting from this thing, that extra 300, although it doesn't make the difference. Still going for it. So all that you need to not mess up here is the timing. You gotta let Invoke go first, Concentrating Current go last, and that's how you get the most bang out of your buck there, guys. 5k damage right to the face. Great stuff. Okay, here we are fighting the cool version of Jaden once he's fused with you, Bell. He's not using any skins or mats. That looks like a 30 card deck with life point boost to me. I don't know how good that could be. Sure, he builds a confident field for us to break though. Gets his grass is greener anyways. Doesn't care. Is using some sort of spellcaster Gravekeepers. Peten will special summon himself when he's sent to the graveyard, so that works even with grass apparently. Here we're gonna Cosmic Cyclone Wall of D. Weren't really scared of the Wall of D to begin with. Here we can use our King of the Swamps effect to get a Poly. Now we can Poly off a Caliga. And now we can Invocation off a Cactius and still maintain our Concentrating Current and get our Invoker back. So pretty good turn. Our opponent's trying to bring out a Oracle Mahad, but we can use Concentrating Current and chain Invoker to Concentrating Current, and it's important to get that timing right. To hit him for 3,000 damage and get rid of his big bad monster. Now he's set more. He's in defense mode. We get to invoke Sorcery Conduit to get our Alistair. That searches Invocation. We swing, but I forgot I was 100 damage less because of her effect. So we were short. Cosmic Cyclone, that Dimensional Prison. Still just waiting for something to invoke into, and there it is, guys. We pull Blaze Man. That's what we needed. Purgatrio's here. He's gonna eat up all these little monsters, starting with her, and that's lethal, guys. Great stuff. Okay, fighting Dark Signer Carly Carmine. I think we're gonna get regular Carly Carmine here soon. Her or Blair or something. Some sort of new character. Anyway, he's using a pretty cool sleeve combo. Maybe it's time I change up my sleeve and mat here too. Our opponent is Dark Lords, guys. I am just really tired of fighting Dark Lords. It is such a chore. But he's actually Fortune Lady Dark Lords, which is still kind of a chore, but not just like pure Dark Lords. So we should be able to do just fine here. Our opponent's going into a Fortune Lady Every, got those +2s, all that good stuff. Sets a back row. We have a varied hand of monsters. We use our King of the Swamp to search a Poly. Now we normal summon our Invoker. Now look what we got, guys. We have so many monsters, we don't even know what to do with them. We're going to start with a Poly. We use a Blaze Man and a Dark Seal Fusion from the hand to do a Dark Cavalry. Now we can Invocation. He's got a Cosmic Cyclone our Invocation, but we can stop that with Dark Cavalry. So we would negate the Cosmic Cyclone. He still takes that 1,000 damage. Now we get a Purgatrio without using our Alistair, guys. We were able to use the Dark Sealed Hex Fusion as an Alistair, keep the Alistair on the field to poke him for a little more. We still probably could have done it the other way around, but with Alistair's effect to add damage, but it's still cool that we have the option to leave him on the field. Great stuff, guys. Other than that, though, I'd say this deck, I like the Neos version better because it brings out Dark Cavalry faster, but this deck you can just keep going and summon all your Purgatrios. Maybe get rid of Caliga and add a third Purgatrio even, and that'd be pretty good too, because I have gone through both Purgatrios and really wished I needed a third. But other than that, it's just more Invoked. I'm sure everyone's almost about tired of Invoked at this time, and I really don't know how Konami's going to stop them any further. It's like Alistair's a UR, Invocation's a UR, and Purgatrio's a UR, so I don't really see what they're gonna do. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.